within the space of a few miles. Andretti, who had controlled the race all day, suddenly pulling down to the apron. Guerrero taking the lead. Guerrero passing Unser Sr. to go a lap up. Coming in for the routine pit stop, the last one in the race. Stalling the car. And Unser Sr. taking advantage of the opportunity to move into the lead. All he's got to do now is finish cleanly.
Jim, I still want to caution everybody. This is the Indianapolis 500. You can't tell what's going to happen. We've had an extremely exciting race, especially at the last year. More action than you can believe. But Al is on the defensive. He must keep everything together, but he can do it.
He could have had even more than 4 wins. He was second in 1983. There's Mario finally coming back out into the race. He's going to finish it, perhaps, but only as an also-ran today. Unser Sr. was second behind Tom Sneva in 83. He was in the hunt in the last 10 laps. His son, Al Unser Jr., tried to block Sneva, or at least create some dirty air for him to give him a chance to win. It didn't quite pay off.
Al Jr. is in 4th place. We could have a good Unser day here before we're through.
I think you've already had a pretty good Unser day, Bobby.
And the car right now that Big Al is following is the rookie car of Fabrizio Barbazza, who is now 3rd. Barbazza having one of the greatest runs by a rookie that we've seen in recent years.
Since Roberto Guerrero in 1984. All right, we've got 15 laps to go. We're going to go to commercial one more time. And when we come back, we're going to bring you the finish of Al Unser's bid for a 4th Indy 500 title. From overhead at the yellow car, carrying what is now the story of the day, and perhaps to a certain degree the story of the decade at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. 47-year-old Al Unser Sr. was without a ride in this race until 2 weeks ago. He was given the car that Danny and Gaius crashed, riding under the colors of Penske Racing. And now, Al Unser Sr. is in position to win a 4th Indianapolis 500 title, which would tie him with A.J. Foyt as the only 2 men ever to accomplish that. Let's go now with Al Troutwig.
Jim, it's quite a scene down here in the Al Unser Sr. pit. Rick Mears and Danny Sullivan out of the race. That looks strange enough, but they're all trying to help Roger Penske get the attention of USAC to blue flag car number 12, the car of Barbazza. They think that he is interfering with the progress of Al Unser Sr. In the meantime, Karen, Al Unser Sr.'s wife, is really agonizing over these past few laps. You can see the tension in her face without looking very hard. Back to you.
It's a very good point, Al Troutwig. As you look at the red car of Barbazza in front of Al Unser Sr., he has been moving all over the track to obstruct Unser Sr. and thereby lessening some of the distance between Unser Sr. and the 2 men chasing him, one of which is Guerrero, the other of which is Barbazza. Barbazza is 2 laps down. Guerrero is 1 lap down. Remember, Guerrero would have to pass Unser twice within these closing laps in order to get back into the lead. We've got 11 laps to go.
Bobby, when you won the last race you won here back in '81, you became the oldest man ever to win the Indianapolis 500. If your brother hangs on and wins it today, he would displace you from that honor by a matter of a few months.
Sam,
what do you make of that?
If that happens, I'll just be the happiest brother in the world.
Great. What do you think he is feeling right now, given your intimate relationship through the years? What's in his mind?
He's trying to make the decision right now what to do with Barbazza, whether to go for a pass and get out of a danger area or whether to possibly create a danger area by trying to go by. He can't make up his mind. Fabrizio's holding him back, but he just doesn't know what to do. Plus, he's got Roberto behind him.
But he's got a lap lead. He's not going to take any chances at all going by Barbazza.
Well, Jim, it's really more of a case about whether you can have dirty air, the guy getting a wreck in front of you, something like that. That's where the problem comes in.
What an emotional weekend this is going to have to be for the Unser family. Friday night, Bobby Unser's son, Robbie Unser, was injured in an automobile race here. As you see, Guerrero unlapping himself. He's now back on the lead lap with Unser, and we've got 9 laps to go, but let me pick it up again. Your son, Robbie, broke his leg Friday night and is having a little bit of a tough go of it right now at Methodist Hospital. You've got your brother in the lead with less than 9 laps to go, trying to win for the 4th time. Your nephew is just 3 cars behind him in 4th place, and you're working the Indianapolis 500 for an announcer, or as an announcer for the first time. How hard is it now for you to maintain your concentration in these last 9 laps?
Yeah, it's hard. I've got the shakes, as you can tell right now. I'm beyond myself. It's almost as if I was doing this race myself. And Al just did a good thing by letting Roberto go by. That's a professional thing. He should have let him go. He needs to stay away from everybody and make it to the finish.
Bobby, you never felt this way when you were on the track racing against him and he was winning, did you?
No, and if I was there today, I wouldn't be this way either.
So Al Jr., though, what is he thinking? He roots for his father.
Well, he is rooting for him now. Little Al is running good. He's in 4th place. But I guarantee you that he's really pulling for Daddy right now. Now we have a yellow flag.
Yellow flag with 8 laps to go. It's Mario Andretti who has gone down into the infield.
This is not bad news for Al. This is good news. He can get the car, get down, cool everything off, burn away a few laps under the yellow. This can't hurt anything.
8 laps to go, so there won't be many laps left under the green when we come back after this yellow.
Well, let's try to cover all the little details. This is a 1986 March Cosworth car that Al Unser Sr. is driving. It is a year-old car. In a long time since a year-old car won the Indianapolis 500, and that says something about the present state of technology in the sport. A little bit of a state of flux there. But that is just the mechanical story. The human story is so much bigger and so much more compelling, and it all centers on that man, a quiet, very private man who lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico, just across the road from his brother on a plot of land that your father bought for the family a long time ago. He's a man who does not mingle as gregariously in some ways as a lot of other people in the sport do, but I'm sure that he has very strong feelings about what is about to happen to him right here.
Well, he's in good shape right now, Jim. He's got Johnny Rutherford right behind him. The pack will go around and get behind him. Unless he has a mechanical problem, Al will get by the finish line. He'll be all right.
Try to hang in here, Bobby. We've only got 6 laps to go.
You know, it's just 2 weeks ago that Al Unser was riding his bike around the garage area here, still hoping for a ride. The only ride he had was a small 2-wheel bike. Circumstances, Danny Ungaias had a crash in the 3rd Penske car, badly concussed, could not come back and drive that car. Roger Penske went back to a man who has done so much for him in the past, including winning the national championship just 2 years ago. And so Al Unser now sits at the wheel of the car in this race, which is the envy of everyone else.
And isn't it ironic that the man who sits behind him, and we haven't given him a call all day, is Johnny Rutherford, another 3-time winner who, if he were in the hunt and he thought he had a good chance, would have been looking for a 4th victory today. Johnny Rutherford now watching as the man ahead of him proceeds toward a big plateau in Indianapolis history. You pointed out that he didn't have a ride. He had offers of cars, as you look at Guerrero flying around trying to make up a little bit of distance under the yellow flag. He had offers of cars, but he said that he would only take something good, something that had a chance to win the race.
Well, and there aren't very many cars he could have picked from. Most of the cars were gone, and it's because of Danny Ungaias' accident that opened this ride up for Al, Jim, and he was very thankful for that, but he felt sorry for Danny. Of course, it was a head injury. Otherwise, Danny would have been in this car.
Of course, when he won the championship, I say the IndyCar World Series Racing Championship a couple of years ago, that was an opportunity which was opened up to him by an injury to Rick Mears. And he went out of his way to honor Mears for that by seeing to it that Mears carried the number 1 the following year.
Yes, he did. And Al could, ironically, be the national champion again this year. We don't predict things till they're over with, but Al, like I said earlier, hasn't slowed down. And today, obviously, is in pretty good shape.
Al is not a fast qualifier. In 22 Indy 500s, he's been on the front row only 3 times, but he's won 3 times and finished second 3 times.
Now, I mentioned earlier, I said 6 laps to go. I was 1 lap ahead of myself, but now there are 5 laps to go. Al Unser Jr. is the car directly in front of that of Roberto Guerrero. And this harkens us back to 1983 when in a similar situation, Al Jr. tried to protect his dad from Tom Sneva. Is there anything he can do when they come back green to help make sure that his dad will win this race?
Jim, he really doesn't have to. There's nothing that's really necessary right now. Johnny Rutherford is right behind Al. Johnny's a good driver. Johnny knows what the situation is. There's nothing to go for. Al just got to be out there running clean air, take care of his car, make sure he doesn't break the transmission when he comes down for the restart. Little things like that are important, you know.
There's little Al, and you can see he's just a few cars behind Al Sr. You get a look at Guerrero, the car that is easy to spot, even in the wide shot, right there. on the right of the screen. The big orange number 4. It looks like a bomb about to explode. I'll tell you, that car looks fast even when it's sitting still in the garage. And we are now told that Guerrero's crew has told Roberto to just cool it. And they are now telling him, we are told, and we don't know for certain that it's true, that second is better than blowing it. All right, the green flag is going to come out, and you're going to have 4 laps to go. So the Indianapolis 500 is now the Indianapolis 10 for Al Unser Sr. as he tries to win it for a 4th time with 4 laps to go.
He's pulling away, Jim. He's in good shape. The transmission went through the last shifting it should do until the end. That's, thank God that went too good.
You think Guerrero is thinking to himself right now, I blew this race for myself, I stalled it leaving the pits?
Yes, Sam, but you know, as we talked earlier, we watched Mario as an example miss a lot of pit stops through his career. Pit stops meaning come in and miss the whole pit. So Roberto made a mistake. He did that all last year. As we talked earlier, we really thought he was over that this year and on the road to good recovery.
When he won at Phoenix a month ago and broke through the window in a sense because after being on the threshold for a few years, he won his first IndyCar event. He got help when Bobby Rahal stalled his car out in the pits on the last sequence of pit stops.
And even the very best are not immune to problems in the pits. Your brother Al, just 2 years ago, ran over his air hose going out of the pit and lost a hole, was penalized a lap, which cost him a chance at a last lap possibility.
Well, he finished 1 lap down. If he hadn't run over the air hose, he'd have been on the lead lap at the end and challenging Danny Sullivan for the victory. Now Sullivan stands in Al Unser's pit and roots for his teammate to win the Indy 500.
Can you just imagine how Roger Penske is feeling now? He's absolutely winning this race. No idea that Al Unser would be driving for us. Now, Al Unser is just could possibly win this race for him. Just 2 laps to go, Jim.
He won it in 1970 racing for Parnelli Jones. Again in 1971, he was the last man to repeat. He won it in a chaparral in 1978. He has not won it in 9 years. He was 2nd in 83, 5th in 82, 3rd in 84. 4th in 85. And now it looks like he's going to add 1st in 1987.
And with that incredible record behind him, Jim, still, when I stood next to Al when he went out to qualify and put this car in the show 2 weeks ago, as he put his earpieces in, we see him coming up to 1 lap. His hands were shaking so badly, he could barely get his earpieces in. So no one is ever immune to the pressures of this place, and I don't think on this last lap that he's immune to it either in that cockpit. Do you?
Boy,
Karen doesn't want to look. Karen doesn't want to look.
Face, that tells you the story. She just crossed her fingers. She got everything.